Shelby Harris talked about how he has lasted 10 years in the NFL and the importance of everybody on the 53-man roster.
I would honestly say a lot of resilience, and because for me, my first 3 years in the league, I was cut like a good 6 to 8 times, I think, and it's just like not taking no for an answer, and then when someone tells you no, figure out a way to get better. And especially for the young guys, my biggest thing when it comes to young guys, not really D-linemen anymore, the checks are the same if you're playing special teams or if you're playing defense or offense. Special teams is what wins championships. They come in here when it comes to like special teams, that's just your way on the 53. Injuries are going to happen in this game, that's a guarantee. And so for you to be able to touch the field, you got to be on the 53. So you got to go out there and you got to make the most of all these special teams reps, especially practices like this where you're going against the other team and everyone's fighting for a job. You got to take this serious, and this is what the great teams do. They take special teams serious, and I'm talking about as simple as field goal block. I pride myself in blocking kicks. I have a couple in my career, and so it's just any way you can affect the game possible, you got to try to do it.
Jeff, is it just me? Anytime I've heard one of the guys they've brought in on defense, it's like, thank you. Can we have more of that?
Well, and now you look at it, though, because when there are this many guys who have the experience, have the talent around each other, you got to understand that this is basically trying to change the foundation of everything. And when we talk about a guy like Shelby Harris, and not only were his first couple of years in the NFL rough and he was cut a lot, his last year in college, they told him right before week 1, you haven't been following the rules. You got to go. And when he got to Denver, it was on a future reserve contract. So he's one of those guys that was signed within like the last 7 days after the season is over, meaning, hey, we're going to let you can go through our programs with us this year. Hey, if it works out, we'll see. It usually doesn't. It doesn't on those future reserve contracts. But you hear it from him. And now here's a guy who's obviously made a substantial amount of money in this game. And maybe, and to say it, the Jordan Elliott's of the world need to hear this. The Tommy Togi guys of the world need to hear this. And, everybody was a good player in college, was a really good player in college. But, you get to the NFL, you are the proverbial, small fish in a large pond. What are you going to do? Are you going to do the extra? Are you going to do something that you've never been asked to do or had to do in your life to stick around? Because we know who the starting defensive tackles are for this team. We're absolute sure of that. So if you want to stick around, it's going to be something extra. And I think that's what you're starting to hear, and these guys have, all been through it. Zadarius Smith, and he's been through it, different systems where he was a stand-up guy, hand in the dirt type of guy. Dalvin Tomlinson, this is now his third organization. You're trying to bring professionalism into the building. And I think that was what the most biggest paramount thing. Yes, they needed proven players, but you needed guys who came in from positive football programs. Shelby Harris played in the playoffs last year. Juan Thornhill played in the playoffs last year. Zadarius Smith played in the playoffs last year. Dalvin Tomlinson played in the playoffs last year. When these guys speak, people should stop and listen, because if this is what your goal is, which is every team's goal within the NFL, when you have guys who have been proven to be there, you should listen to the wisdom that they are trying to bestow upon you.